Today's review is brought to you via my top tier Patreon member, Greg C. One of the perks of his top tier status means that he gets to request of me once a month to review a movie of his picking. So, here you go, Greg. Memories of Murder is brought to us by acclaimed director Bong Joon-ho and stars Song Kang-ho and Kim Sang-hyun. So Memories of Murder is loosely based on Korea's first documented case of a serial killer, which took place between 1986 and 1991 in the Hwasong Yeonggi province. I'm pretty sure I just butchered all of those names, but I'm trying. We primarily follow Detective Park Do-main, played by Song Kang-ho, and Detective Seo Taeng-young, played by Kim Sang-hyun. Once again, names butchered. This is a little town that they're based in, and when they start finding bodies of women tied up, raped, and murdered, they just don't really know what to do. This is also during a time that Korea was under military rule, so things were done a bit differently then. One of the biggest things that is different that the film presents to us is the way that they interrogate people. Routine torture is not out of the ordinary. Beating a confession out of someone is just kinda how things were done then. It's not necessarily legal, like the media, they report on it and they talk about it, but it doesn't really matter. Everybody knows it's happening, and the people that are doing it kind of treat it kind of like, hey, this is just another day at the office. And yes, our main protagonists in the film do take part in this. We do see them beating suspects to get a confession. But this movie is so expertly crafted and told that we never feel as if these are bad people doing it. We just feel like they're just cogs in the machine. They're just doing what everybody else is doing. It's not like they're wanting to do this. They genuinely are wanting to solve these crimes. They think they've got the right guy and they just need him to say that they did it so they can push them through the legal system. They don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. It's not that they want to do it, it's just what's done. I know that sounds terrible, and yeah, beating the shit out of people to get a confession is a really bad thing, but the way the movie presents it to us, we never really hold it against the people that are doing it. We say that what they're doing is wrong, and we disagree with it, but the movie does such a good job of presenting these characters to us and these situations that we understand why it's happening. We don't agree with it, but we do understand it, and we don't necessarily hold it against these characters. We hate the game, not the player. Now, while this story is based on a true story, as I said, it is loosely based, so I don't know how much of it is actually fact, how much of it actually happened or not, and how much of it is fabricated for this story. But my understanding is that all the major points in the film did actually occur. Once again, I don't know for sure. I haven't researched this thing real deep or anything, but from what I understand, this is more factual than not. Though I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Memories of Murder is a fascinating, extremely entertaining, very well made, disgusting at times, and even funny at times film. Director Bong Joon-ho, who is best known now for his Academy Award winning film Parasite, does a fantastic job here. This is an expert at work. I've seen many of Joon-ho's films over the years, but somehow this one slipped by. I've never even heard of this movie. I've seen a lot of his movies before Parasite even came out, but somehow this little gem I just knew nothing about. And I can't say how happy I am that Greg C. from Patreon recommended me to see this film, because this was a absolutely wonderful film. This story of these detectives desperately trying to find out who is killing the women of this village is thrilling. We never quite know exactly who is and is not guilty. There are times that characters are presented to us and we feel for a time that, hey, yeah, that's the one, they must have done it, but then something is always thrown into the mix to make us doubt it. The filmmakers did a fantastic job of never allowing us to know 100% who the murderer is, and that is why when these detectives are torturing some of these suspects and they throw in that bit of doubt, while yeah, we do feel like at times they're definitely the one that did it, so this is okay, then that doubt comes in and we're like, man, I don't know. I don't feel 100% now, so I'm not really so on board with you kicking the shit out of this guy to get a confession. And you could tell that the detectives are having this exact same struggle. That's pretty much what the entire movie is. They get a lead, they find someone, and they know for sure, okay, yeah, see, this is why that this person absolutely did it. This is our guy. We just need to catch him. And as they continuously dig and dig into these suspects, something always pops up to give them the slightest bit of doubt. It's absolutely engrossing. amazing and one of the best told serial killer chase films I have ever seen. Now, one of the most crucial things that sold this story and its characters is one of Bong Joon-ho's signature things in most of his film, and that's the characters and the humor that the characters display. And it's not like traditional cinematic humor, it's very realistic, fluid humor. We as human beings, when faced with a serious situation, will many times lean back on humor. It's kind of a coping mechanism. It's not like those big, grand, traditional cinematic humor kind of things like slapstick and all that. No, it's like kind of more low-key, fluid, and realistic. When amongst ourselves, even if it is the most serious situation, it doesn't mean we don't take it serious, but that's just how we cope. We'll make little jokes or little quips here or there. And that's what this film and many of Joon-ho's films do that other films don't. It's subtle humor that makes it all the more real, because we all identify with that because we've been there. We've been in a situation where maybe a joke wasn't appropriate, but we still did it, and it just is what it is. We're human beings. The movie ebbs and flows between this really fluid humor, very serious situations, and procedural drama. It's great, and it's just such a smooth transition to all of it throughout the entire movie. Much like his more well-known Parasite did, it takes a serious situation and just makes it seem all the more real due to the way that our characters inhabiting this story deal with the situation. Now, the tone and feel of this movie is much more in line with Joon-ho's Parasite than, say, his more action-oriented films like The Host or Snowpiercer. This is a slow burn in that Parasite kind of way, so if you enjoyed that film, I feel like you're really going to enjoy this one as well. Now, complementing the great story is the fantastic performances all around. The fact that Song Kang-ho's Detective Park can one moment be kicking the shit out of an innocent man, and then the next moment we really feel for his character and on board with him 100% really says a lot about his performance. While the story does do its part to keep us liking this character, the performance from Song Kang-ho is what really sells it. Also, seeing as how I am an English-speaking individual, this movie was subtitled for me, and I imagine for most of you it will be as well. And while I personally don't have an issue with subtitles at all, sometimes when reading text on screen, some of the performance can be lost in that. But not here. It is all fantastic. The dialogue, the actions, everything is so real and fluid. It just all works beautifully. This is also a gorgeous looking movie, and if you've seen any of Joon-ho's other films, such as the aforementioned Parasite, or Snowpiercer, or Host, or any of his other movies like Mother, that shouldn't come as a surprise. The guy knows how to shoot a really beautiful movie, and here he does that as well. Guys, Memories of Murder was a fantastic film that I loved pretty much every minute of watching. It is a slower film for sure, and that will turn off some people, but for me, it was never boring. I loved the entire thing. Slow or not, I never felt like it dragged at all. And I hope that due to the more recent popularity of Joon-ho's Parasite, it may lead people down the road to this film as well, because it absolutely deserves to be seen. It's an intricate, interesting, intriguing story with fantastic performances all around. It's a gorgeous looking movie that asks important questions but never points the finger at the people that were involved in these situations. And overall, it's just an expertly told film that we just don't get very often and is absolutely a unicorn. Once again, want to thank my man Greg C over at Patreon for being my top tier member and bringing me to this movie, allowing me to see this absolutely beautiful, wonderful film. This movie deserves to be seen, so if you're looking for a great movie to see for the night, then check out Memories of Murder, and I think you're going to have an absolutely fantastic time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Memories of Murder. If you enjoyed, want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys. And possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg, and get the opportunity to tell me what movie you want me to review once a month like he did today. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, soul. So after watching this movie and seeing the brutal tactics that they had in Korea during this time period, I've come to see, based on what I saw in this film, that their main tactic for getting someone to fess up, or really just any time they engaged in these brutal acts, was the drop kick. Like, I'm serious, man, they be drop kicking motherfuckers left and right in this movie, and not like in that real fluid, like, kind of martial arts kind of way. No, like hardcore, just raw, jump up both feet, pow, to the fucking chest of mofos. I don't think this movie can go a few minutes without somebody come flying off screen and just busting somebody in the face with their feet. I mean, it's kind of crazy and comical to a degree. I gotta wonder, I did find a bit of humor in it, honestly, even though it is a serious situation. How many times they drop kick people in this movie that kind of had to be like a joke on set or something. If not, maybe it's unintentional, but it really works. It totally works. It doesn't take anything away from the movie. I found it pretty fucking funny. I mean, I don't know what that says about me. Some people might just find it like horrifying or something that this kind of thing happened, but me, myself, personally, in this particular movie, my sick, crazy ass just found it really fucking funny when somebody just came fucking off screen and just pow, knocked the motherfucker out. There goes another one. I don't know, maybe it was just me.